So let's start with our legs out in front of us. We're going to sit up really tall, right on your sit bones, belly button to your spine, and let's start pointing and flexing our toes, keeping your knees nice and straight. Shoulders are down. Make sure you're breathing. We're just going to warm up our ankles as we point and flex. That's it. Keep thinking about your back and your core. Just moving your feet up and down, getting your ankles and your toes all warmed up. I'm going to turn and face towards you so you can see that I'm going to take my feet and turn them out all the way from the top of my legs in the hip socket. You're going to try and get your baby toe towards the floor. That's what you're aiming for, okay? Thinking about the inner thigh forward, the inside of your knees forward, and the inside of your heels forward. And again, sitting up nice and tall. Try not to let that back go. Hold your core. All right, shaking out those legs. Now we're going to tendu and point and bring your foot down to the ball and point. So your knee is straight and you're pointing and then just coming to the ball. All the while trying to keep your heel as high as it was on the point as it is then on the ball. So don't let your heel come down. Keep that foot as arched as possible. And then do it on the other side. So tendu out on the ball and then up to a full point as hard as you can. Keep those arches as pulled up as possible. Trying to get that heel all the way up into your leg almost. And trying to bring your baby toe to the back wall every time you come back. Trying to get all your toes on the ground on the ball and then pulled up to a point. Again, your knee is straight in a full tendu. It doesn't really matter which position you tendu to. Next, we're going to do one-legged releves. You're going to push that arch up as high as you can get it. Pull up on your supporting side. Keep that knee back. Your working foot is in third rear aerial, approximately. Doesn't have to be exact. You're trying not to twist your shoulders and your hips towards the supporting side. Squeeze the glute of the supporting leg and the glute of the working leg. Really think about rotating the inner thigh, the inner knee, and the inner heel forward of the working leg. Shake those legs out. Now we're going to do 16 on the other side. Prepare yourself, pulling up on the supporting side, keeping that working leg turned out, rotating forward, shoulders and hips straight to the front. That's it, pushing that heel of the supporting leg up as high as you can get it. Think about your core, belly button into your spine. Try not to come down too quickly onto your heel. Take it down in a controlled way. That's it. Make sure you're breathing. You should be feeling, especially your supporting side, burning quite a bit. Just give it a little shake out. Next, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to add a plie at the bottom of the movement. So a rise, followed by a plie with the supporting knee. Again, Knee is going to make sure you're tracking over the toe, knee of the supporting leg tracking over the middle toe of the supporting leg. You're fighting to keep that rotation on the working leg and keeping those shoulders and those hips to the front. You'll probably feel yourself wanting to twist a little bit towards the supporting leg. Fight that. And again, coming down in a controlled way. Shake that leg out. We're going to do 16 on the other side. Position yourself. Make sure you are squeezing the inner thigh, the inner knee, and the ankle forward on the working side and also on the supporting side. We're aiming for 45 on the supporting side, 90 on the working side. Pulling up on the supporting side. Squeeze those underbuns. Rotating those muscles that are deep within your pelvis that are rotating, using to turn out. Really fight turning and twisting towards that supporting side, and make sure you're breathing and give it a nice shake out. Next, we're going to get into a downward dog position on the floor, and we're going to walk our feet 16 times, pressing those heels into the floor and getting a stretch in the hamstring and calf. And the foot that's lifting up the heel is lifting as high as possible, stretching those toes, making sure the ball is on the floor, tailbone to the ceiling. Now we're slowing it down. Press those shoulders in, tailbone up, nice flat back. Hold the stretch. Press that heel into the floor. Excellent. Now we're going to stand up, and we're also going to do those marches, standing parallel, lifting one foot then the other, with a little tiny pause in the middle where both feet are in releve. Pulling that belly button into your spine, shoulders over your hips. We're doing 16 of these. And then we're going to start lifting our foot off the floor and pulling our toe to the floor, articulating through your foot, going from flat, ball, and then finally to a nice strong point, lifting the knee. Standing up nice and tall. Now we're going to go back to the marches and add a little plie at the bottom. It's like a little squat with one foot up on the ball and the other pressing down. Again, really important to have posture here. Shoulders over your hips, but really pushing that heel up as high as you can get it, stretching those toes. Next, let's take our feet to second position, and we're going to pulse. Little plie pulses with our knees over our toes, belly buttons to our spines. And now we're going to lift one heel and then the other heel, alternating back and forth. There we go, getting into the rhythm now. Releve in the middle in second. Try not to tip your upper body up. And now we're going to stay on one side and pulse. Keep that heel up. After 8, we'll switch sides. Here we go. Knees over your toes. Really turning out that raised heel to the front. And then we're going to switch sides again. Here we go. For 8, 4, 3. Make sure you're breathing. 2, and switch. This is the last time here. Now find yourself a wall or a chair, and we're going to do a little combination. Rise, plie, heels down, stretch. Rise, plie, heels down, stretch. Make sure you're standing up nice and tall. Squeezing those knees at the top. And also on the finish of each 4 counts. Knees over your toes. Make sure when you plie that you're on all of your toes. Then we're going to reverse it. Plie. Plie, rise, straighten, and down. Make sure when you're coming down with those heels that there's control there, that we're not slamming our heels down to the floor. Everything's nice and controlled. Excellent. Let's do some stretches. Feet parallel. Take one foot over top of the other. And bend a little bit, like a little mini squat or a little mini plie. I'll turn to the side so you can see. And you're just putting a little tiny bit of pressure on the top of your foot, stretching out those muscles in your feet. You're not putting a ton of weight, just a little bit. That's why we do it over our legs, so we can control the amount that we bend. You can just bend a little bit. Depends on how flexible the top of your foot is. You're not trying to crunch your toes. Just give a little tiny bit of a stretch. Now, and from first position, we're going to do the same thing. Just encourages stretching those toes with turnout. Also helps balance, or challenges balance, I should say. Making sure you're breathing. You wouldn't want to do this unless your feet were nice and warm. And all the exercises that we've just done have been warming up your feet, strengthening your feet. Let's go down to the floor. And you're going to sit on your heels with your toes tucked under. I'll turn to the back so that you can see that your heels should be nice and straight, not splayed out, but straight. You're just, again, stretching those toes. You can put as much of your weight onto your heels as you feel you can. It should feel a little stretch. It shouldn't be really painful. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's been lovely having you with me. Bye for now.